Do you guys have any final thoughts or considerations? You've been very generous of your time from Ohio or from Illinois.
Well, I guess, a couple of things here. One is, we need to be careful the way we feed cows, but cows can take we don't have to be perfect every minute of the day. This oscillation as a way to improve nitrogen efficiency has to be, I hope somebody carries this on and again, looks at ways to reduce this negative intake. Then I really think there's potential here. For both, I just did a quick calculation based on feed costs in Ohio. If you get the same milk from these, you'd save about 25 cents a day per cow. So it's not a huge amount, but it's not a trivial amount either.
Yeah.
It helps on the environment, which we all have to be more concerned about. So there's a lot of potential here. We're not quite ready for prime time yet, but there's a lot of potential here.
Alex, final thoughts? Are you going to start applying that now as a new nutritionist at Purina? Do you feel confident of applying this technology in your farms now or not yet?
Well, like Bill had mentioned, I think we're not quite ready for prime time. Maybe there's one or two more studies that need to be conducted to, figure out what's the optimal switch in the protein that we're substituting. Is it starch? Is it sugar, like we talked about? But also, too, we often forget that protein is not all the same either. We have protein that's highly ruminal, degradable, and we have proteins that are high in bypass protein. So understanding what type of protein should we take out and what type needs to stay in to maintain intake or rumen microbial synthesis as well. So I don't think it's quite ready yet for prime time, but like Bill had mentioned, I think if somebody would pick up this research, we have some potential for it being commercially applied in the field someday. I also would say too, from this study is, and what Bill has shown is that cows are in fact very flexible. That the classical, we need to feed the same thing day in, day out may or may not be true. And so understanding how we can play with the cow's rumen and that physiology to better optimize how we produce milk would be, I think, an important aspect for future research.
Yeah, that's a good point that you guys mentioned that I forgot about the quality of the protein, or maybe a better characterization of that protein, more towards microbial protein or not, that could impact as well.
For simplicity, all we changed was soybean meal. That was it. And so, the rumen degradable protein, when on those low days, got to be pretty low. So maybe, if we would have done something a little more complicated where we still change crude protein, but maybe we don't change RDP as much or things like that. So that's another area that could be or should be investigated.